Hello and welcome to today's Bitcoin analysis, where we will be looking at the structure where a possible correction might lead us, as well as some price targets up above. We'll also be looking at the liquidation heat map, which is showing us some very interesting data upon where price might be heading, as well as some more data, and in the end some very important news. So make sure you stick around until the end. So what do we have structure wise? We've basically been talking about this the past videos as well. We have two different scenarios, the green and the blue one, and they basically both mean that we still think this is a very bullish scenario in a bull market, but a correction is due. However, what the wave 5 and wave 3 have in common, and by the way, this is the wave 5 which would complete this larger wave 1, so that's why this 1 in green is also here. What both of these have in common is that we don't really know how far these extend. It is a possibility that, and we do have some price targets above. If you're interested in that, check out our member website, just the first link in the description, that these could extend way higher. These could extend to 110, 115, whatever, these higher prices, but the structure is already full in a sense that we could see a correction now, and we're already starting to see some price dripping down. Of course, this is nothing drastic yet, but this could be because we've been rejected at basically the 100k mark, and there is a big sell wall at the 100k, and why we got rejected and why this is such a big deal I will highlight later in the video. But just the support zones, what we think where prices might run. The first one, which is a bit more bullish, between 88 and 76, and the other one is between 68 and 59. Again, to highlight, I basically do this every video, but I think it's important psychologically. If we go to 81k, and I know this sounds far away, it's only 15%, 76k, only 20% away to the downside. That is not an abnormal correction. All of that can happen anytime. Now, quickly looking at the heat map, let me just reload this on a different time frame. As you can see, of course, we do have a lot of liquidity above, which is probably going to be collected. By the way, if you're wondering how you can use this heat map for your advantage, how you can read what you're seeing here, feel free to check out our website. But also, there is so much liquidity to the downside which has not yet been collected within basically in weeks, and we're basically overheated to some extent and are due for a correction. And again, looking at these price levels here, the low 90s, here in the mid 70s, that is basically what is important here. The mid 70s, the bottom of our support zone, and the low 90s would be here. That would basically just be touching the top of our support zone and then continue up higher, which is also possible. Now, looking at the funding rate, we also have outlined that on our website, how you can use that for your advantage. Looking at it, it's at 27.69%. That is not too high. So the market is not tremendously overheated. Also Ethereum and Solana, basically two other major players, they are basically in an okay range. Let me just switch this to the 2 week. But you can see we were heated up a few days, weeks ago, and then we were sort of running in the green all the time. And now we're getting into more heated territory. And this could be the possibility that we're going to get even more heated, which we cannot tell right now. But of course, this is something we will be watching and we will be discussing in future videos, because this is tremendously important for our members. We will be monitoring this every day, and we will give an update as soon as something relevant happens. But now let's get to the very important news. And this is that MicroStrategy, which is a company which basically just focuses on buying Bitcoin, if you don't know about MicroStrategy yet, has been buying Bitcoin again as of lately. As you can see down here with the holdings, the 25th of November, which is today, they have bought another, well, basically 4,000 or 5.4 billion in crypto, which basically means that if we look at the chart time-wise where this happened, and let me just zoom this out a bit and maybe go on the 4-hourly chart so we have a better look at this. It basically means that looking at the time this happened, Michael Saylor or MicroStrategy was buying around this area. They were buying this top. They were basically one of the major players, one of the reasons why we didn't break low. But what this also means is that a company was buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin, and also ETF flows were good last week, and we still couldn't break above 100K because the sell walls are just so immensely high. What does this mean? Well, we do need a lot of buying pressure to basically break this psychological barrier of 100K, and we don't really think the market is ready for that yet. Of course, it can happen. Of course, upside extensions movements always very possible. Nobody can predict what exactly is going to happen, but just be aware that we had a lot of spot buying, which is the perfect buying for a sustainable price increase, and we didn't break the 100K. Keep that in mind. The big sell walls are waiting here for us, and so far we don't have any news which would indicate that we would sustainably break above 100K. But yeah, I think with that enough said, if you're interested in all of these more in-depth analysis and so on, feel free to check out our website. And I think with that enough said, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.